But the way we fill into things is to be able to open our view. We're not narrowed down trying to work anything out. We're opening up to the pure potential of the moment. And we're resting back in our body because there's nothing to actually get. And then we're dropping out of the head and down, down, down into this sort of ground of being, this sense of just being and not lacking, not needing to get anything. That we've already done that long car journey and we're already home. So feel into that. You've been doing all of this journey and you've arrived home and there's nothing to get. So there's no grasping, there's no lack. We're just going to feel into what's here. So there's just a total relaxation. This sort of letting go of needing anything else other than what's here right now. That this, what's here now, is all you've ever been. And it's as if we can just lie back in all we've ever been. And there is this feeling of contentment. Because we're not grasping. We're just recognizing what's already here. When we just rest back in being. The felt sense of being. Tuning into how being feels, this just sort of not needing to do anything or get anything. With the felt sense of home. And then there can be this sort of feeling of peace, because we're just here. The body can feel like it's letting go of this need to rise up and get anything. This non-doing. Just being here now. And I think we looked at perceiving last time, there's this sense of just perceiving. But if we peel away that label, what's left in the direct experience, felt sense, without relabeling? We don't need to add anything to what's here. We peel away perceiving. We're not looking for it to be any way other than just what's here. Just the noticing of what's here. You can peel away noticing what's here. Just the direct experience of what's here. So it's not that you disappear, it's not that you go anywhere, it's just we recognize what this actually is. It's not defined by a body-mind. That if we said awareness, we'll just pop that label up for a second. Does it have a boundary? Is it confined to a body-mind, or is it just vast and open? Unbound. It's not contained. It just is. And that's what we are. We just are. We're not something that can be pinned down and labelled. And so, because there's nothing apart from what we are, you can't hold yourself up and look at it and put a label on it. You can only be what you are. So that's where it's sort of like you're almost lying down in what you are. It's just being what we are. It's almost like lying down in the grass of what we are. Total surrender to what we are. There's nobody actually surrendering. There is just this feeling of melting backwards into what we already are. Because it's all we've ever been. Now we're just taking time to recognize what that is. That is not a part. That can't actually be named, can only be tuned into. We're tuning into what we are. And it does feel like a surrendering. A surrendering to ourselves. A little bit like an ice cube melting into water. Never was anything other than water. It was just sort of shaping. Experiencing a shape. It can be like a melting back into what we've always been. What we effortlessly are. So it's an effortless, a non-doing. There's nothing apart from what we are. In this moment, if we don't project forward, we go to past and future. We're just giving what's here a chance to reveal itself to itself. If anything appears, thoughts, feelings, emotions, that's all fine. They're appearing to what you are. They come and go, and there is something that's always aware of them. So he's turned towards what's always aware, what doesn't come and go. Just a felt sense of that. This ageless awareness. Impersonal awareness. And every time we turn towards it, it's exactly the same. It doesn't age. How about that we're already enough, just as we are right here? Already enough. Just as we are. So, can you leave what you are? So it's not to go to thoughts about it, it's just a sense, feel into how could you leave what you are? Where do you end? So this is our fundamental formless nature. It isn't a concept or an idea, it's what we are. And there's nothing apart from it. That's why it's so intimate. All movements, thoughts, feelings, emotions appear in this. Come and go. Sounds, sensations are appearing in the formless awareness. The experience of a me appears in the concept of a me, the adoption of a me. But this never changes, never becomes anything. It can experience itself as things, but never becomes anything other than what it is. So we can just get lost in the experiences. But what's experiencing is this, that never changes, that never becomes anything. It's the narrowing of the view that sort of appears to limit this, but it never becomes limited. It's always here, whole and complete.
Never becomes anything.
No. It can experience itself as all of those things, but never actually becomes them. That's why it can get a bit confusing. It narrows its view on the experiences and personalizes them. But it's only ever this that's impersonal awareness. So just like the stream, the vast open stream can create a swirl for itself and then concentrate down and only experience itself as a swirl and forget it's the complete stream. It was just to recognize the bigger picture of what it is. Oh, experiencing myself as this sort of vortex, this spinning center, but what was experiencing that was the vastness. Temporarily sort of adopting the identification of the little swelling vortex. But it was only the stream. It was only the totality experiencing as a point. So that's where we go to the bigger view. That's where we open up our view to this formless nature that can experience itself as form. Oh, so we don't become the form. It's this that experiences form. Oh, because this is all we've ever been. So in order to experience form, it creates that point of view for itself. But it's only ever this, experiencing the point of view. Because this never changes, it's always here. When we turn our attention towards what's looking, what's aware, it's aware of all of the thoughts and sensations of the body-mind. That sort of point of view. But whenever we turn our attention towards the point of view, if it feels like there's a point of view, we can turn our attention towards that. The one, if we feel like we're narrowed down and looking, we can turn attention towards the looker. And that point of view has the potential to just dissipate. We can see how it was just attention going, narrowing into a point in order to experience itself. If we bring the attention home to what's looking, isn't actually a point. It's this vast open sea of awareness, pure being, just there. Unlabeled, unbound, totally free. There's no problem with whatever appears. It's just how this can experience itself. So it's how it can identify with the movements. So it's to be more interested in what's aware, or the space in which all of the movements, the attention going backwards and forwards, the point of view, anything that appears within that's aware is transient, comes and goes, so it can't be who we are. The temporary experience. So it's to recognize there's something that doesn't come and go, doesn't change, doesn't alter. You see, the narrowing of view and the attention going backwards and forwards, it doesn't belong to anybody. They're all just movements that can be identified with. But if you recognize that what's looking is what you are, there's no problem with all of the movements. So it's not that we've got to get rid of anything. It's just to recognize that anything that appears is not who we are, because we are the awareness of it, the noticing of it, the seeing of it, the intelligence that's always aware, awake. So we feel into that awakeness that you want. Formless awareness that you are. Infinite being that you are. Prior to all of the movement. So the falling asleep and the waking up appears in what you are. It doesn't happen to a you, a movement. That can be identified with. But what's identifying with them is this, never ever becoming anything. All just temporary experiences it can have. So it's to be more interested in what's experiencing prior to all of the movements. To recognize that, recognize ourselves in this formless nature. totally free, unbound by all of those patterns and shapings. All of the thoughts, all of the invitations into experience are all appearing to this, that just remains as just this. The space in which it all appears disappears. The movements are not who we are, they're appearing in what we are. So we can adopt roles and play those roles of husband, but it's only ever this, experiencing itself.